Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, Apfeltalk. Wir stehen hier in Köln bei bestem sonnigen Wetter. Und zwar befinden wir uns gerade im Sportpark Müngersdorf in Köln. Und hier findet die Segway-Polo-Weltmeisterschaft statt. Christian, was zur Hölle machen wir hier?
Ja, bevor ihr euch jetzt fragt, warum Apfeltalk überhaupt auf der Segway-Polo-Weltmeisterschaft ist, das Ding heißt Wozniak. Wozniak, weil Steve Wozniak selber anwesend ist und auch hier spielt. Ja, und Apfeltalk ist einfach hier, um sich mal mit dem Woz zu unterhalten.
Wir gehen dann direkt zum Interview mit dem Apple-Gründer. You won. How do you feel?
I feel great. I think our team worked together. We had a strategy to work very hard on defense and keep their score to 0. And we played that very well. They had few opportunities that they missed, so we lucked out too. We had a lot of other shots and opportunities that could have gone in. It was the first match for us of the tournament, so we're thinking about wish we'd gotten some more points.
I heard a colleague of your team talking about training and making a joke. Was it actually a lot of talent, or did you train very hard?
Every single team here trained very hard. Going out. Some of the teams worked out a lot more than us. Playing 4 times a week and whatever. What I do back home is I play on about 3 different teams in California around where I live. So I go to all the practices of all 3 of them. So I go to a lot of practices. Sometimes when it gets hefty, up to 3 a week.
So, and how often does this team meet in order to practice for a World Cup like this?
This team, when we're practicing for the tournament, we'll meet once a week. We'll try, maybe sometimes even 2 times a week. We played on artificial turf surfaces to be more familiar with it. But normal throughout the year, we'll play once every 2 weeks.
This is basically your cup, and you could have played anywhere in the world, but you came to Germany. Is there any specific reason?
The German team was very nice people. They met us last year when they came to America, and they offered to do it. So that's the big thing. If somebody wants to offer to do it, and it's a nice place where we'd like to travel to, let's go. Because look at all the teams here. None of them are sponsored with companies or countries paying their way, so we pay our own way. And so it's nice to do that. And they're talking about maybe next year it'll be Barbados. It's my first time in Cologne.
Oh, really? Really?
I've been in Germany many, many times. First time Cologne, and I like it. Yeah, it seems like a larger version of Munich or something, like Munich. I like all the bicycle provisions and getting around on the segways easy and everybody's friendly.
That's great. We understand you're playing a lot of Segway this time, but we have seen so many great inventions from you. What's going to be the next big thing?
Well, I like to work on making things do things they aren't supposed to be able to do, and I've gotten associated with a company that has some very bright people using flash media, flash NAND chips and flash NOR chips, to make little boards that basically, right in your hand, more powerful than the biggest RAID array, the biggest SAN you can imagine. So speeding up servers on the internet. And there's just nobody competes with us. Nobody can touch the speed, the performance, and if you can make a server, an expensive server, serve the data twice as fast, 10 times as fast, that's like having 10 servers for less money. So I'm glad to be with that company.
That's awesome. So I feel like you're going to change a whole branch once again, and we're going to see a lot of more faster service. What's with the GPS? I saw your last thing and I thought, great, now when I'm losing my keys, I'm going to find them. What happened?
I wanted to make such a product with GPS, but it has to get to a certain very small size and very lightweight, very long battery life. And I didn't hit the goals on that, so we sold that off to a different application area. And I still want to find the way to do that and do it well. I also want to find the way to navigate inside of any building. I mean, it's very difficult to know where is somebody within a building as they walk through, and find real simple. I mean, to me, simple also means low cost ways to do it. But that's all for the future. Still a dream of mine.
I was urged to ask you that question. Your iPhone, is it jailbreaked? Was it ever jailbreaked?
Yes, I did jailbreak my iPhones. Now I don't have to. I mean, I did set mine up to tether to the internet, which you're not supposed to be able to do, and it worked successfully in the United States. Didn't work here for me, and I carry one of each color, and they're in resistor color codes. This is color code for 0, and this is the color code for 9, and those are the last digits of my phone numbers.
Great.
All the starting digits are the same.
That's great.
So since I wrote a bigger text about why I jailbreak my iPhone, what are your Favorite
Oh.
apps?
Well, you know, my friends that jailbreak the iPhone, I love it. They're always able to show off a bunch of neat apps they have. I stopped doing it after the first time, and I'm really jealous. The favorite app I ever saw really was just shooting movies, and now we have that. Sort of the simpler, normal way. You have to have some time to experiment around. Jailbreak your phone, try this, try that one, and I've got such a busy life that I don't have the time to allocate to that anymore.
We have some kind
I appreciate it. I mean, I love the community. I actually support them, you know, with you know, money and sometimes phones and things like that to do their work.
Do you know Jay Freeman? Historic?
I don't think I know him personally. I get email from the dev team and all that, so I don't pay attention to names. So you're gonna have me there.
Okay.
we're in some kind of gold rush. People are going and then developing a lot of free apps or great apps for the iPhone. Is there any advice you have to these people who are starting now?
Not really. Actually, almost anybody who's young, engineering-minded, you know, is carrying around books of, you know, how to program for the iPhone, and it's really incredible. The apps. I thought that, well, they just come out with more and more of the same games and all that. No, they're getting more and more sophisticated, incredible apps. You know, geez, look at the one that was just on the Gadget web pages the last couple of days, where you navigate around the segways. You hold up your iPhone, and it points to where the the subways are in New York City. You know, what an amazing thing that how would you ever think of that? These sort of things are happening right and left. Every time there's a new platform, that's one thing. I wish that the iPhone were a totally, you know, OS X platform, that you could really, you know, write any program to use any of its functionality. So I don't even like the limits that are in there.
Do you understand the security limits, or do you feel like Apple could be a lot more open about these things?
Some things I think they could be more open, but I don't know. You know, I question why can't, like in the early days, you remember, you couldn't even put on your own ringtone. Why can't you put on your own ringtone? You know, I mean, whoever heard of such a thing? Well, that's that's what I'm pointing out. That's not a security issue, what you have for a ringtone. So where the limits are, you have to have strong security in a product, you know, that's using the cellular networks, but it doesn't mean you have to lock out a lot of things. The apps are impressing me. I think they've opened up more and more. So I'm satisfied.
You're a really great person, and you're kind of celebrity, not only in the community but also outside. And we have a big community board, and sometimes we read people saying that there's some kind of lack of innovation in Apple, and they feel like you should go back.
I don't agree. I think Apple is the leader in the world of at least taking us into the new generations of products. They've just got this incredible marketing where they do a product so well that the entire Mac community jumps on it, and it's enough people to start a new standard. Like iPod and like iPhone. I mean, it's just like, you know, you could compare the iPhone in a spreadsheet, feature for feature, and it may not live up or exceed any other phone.
It does live up.
But you have to. But if you use it, there's emotions. You know, people buy more on feeling, and when you use it and you use the other phones, and usually I carry another phone as my main phone. So I get very familiar with different models of BlackBerry, different models of Android phones and all that. I hate them all compared to the iPhone. It's just pleasant to use, even though it doesn't do all the same things.
You invented a lot of different things, just going from, I don't know, the Apple to break out such things.
Yes.
A simple question, how do you do it? I want to invent something too.
Yes. Well, back in those days, you could make certain kinds of devices that used electronics and logic chips. You could wire them together with a soldering iron and make your own thing in your house that was impressive and had some value. Today, it's pretty hard because the things that really have value, you're beat by the big companies that scrunch it all onto a chip with 1 billion transistors, and you can never compete with everything inside of a chip that costs nothing. So the same world that I grew up and was very, very good at doesn't exist the same anymore. Even the art of programming has taken several generations of jumps, you know, of the way it's done. It's not the simple thing it used to be.
What do you like best about Germany?
Boy, you know, people always talked about the beer, and I basically almost never drink beer. And I drank the beer, the Kolsch beer here in Cologne. It is the best beer. I love it. It's the first time I ever really liked beer. So I don't know. I can never be an alcoholic because I don't drink alcohol, but maybe I could change.
There are a lot of beer people here.
Here's an advice from me. If you like Kölsch, don't ever drink Alt. Don't do it.
Okay.
We have different
Where is that
kinds of
from? Where's that one from?
It's mainly...
A real strong.
yeah, right.
it's
I like the Kolsch. It's just
So-
wow. It's got a taste and a flavor, and
It's like Guinness, a little bit. I mean, the people on the screen will going to punish me, but it's a little bit like Guinness, if you know that from the Irish people, the dark one.
Okay.
But
No, I know, because I don't drink any alcohol hardly except beer and sometimes white wine. So, but I can't. This is the best beer ever. But I like a lot of other things about Germany. I like the I don't know. I like the inventiveness nature. I get so many email from Germans, you know, even in the Macintosh community. You know, they're up on. You know, when you walk around, you see also the architecture. If you're in a place, especially like Frankfurt, they got these incredible buildings you can never imagine, glass and steel type buildings everywhere that were invented here. It just shows all the openness of the buildings. You can see through the glass places. I like that very much. And the technology, I mean, you know, when you buy something that's designed in Germany, it's generally really good. It's like a German car is just sort of known as, a work of art, just the way a Macintosh is.
I'm really looking forward to see Apple doing a dashboard, because I think there are a lot of things you could change to the better.
Doing what? A car?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a car.
Yeah, no, not the car. Just the dashboard and
The dashboard.
basically
Yes,
the
but-
dashboard system.
Sometimes when I get Japanese cars, it feels like everything's there, but you have to adapt to find it.
Yeah,
the technology is
that's
more
what I
important
mean.
than the
That's what I
human.
mean.
But with some German cars, mainly the Mercedes type, they've really designed it around you, how you fit, and everything's sort of convenient and understandable and findable. And that makes you more important, the center of the universe. You're more important than the technology, and that's how you should feel. Apple's always had the same philosophy. That
But Mercedes has this philosophy. They started treating MP3 last year like high-tech technology, and everybody was like, geez, just give us AAC or something else. So
sad. That's sad because you always want to think of quality and excellence. We've always had a line in Apple. You can never go to the very top or you're too expensive for the masses. But you got to push quality and excellence. And boy, all our life, I grew up with analog hi-fi systems. And every year we made better and better hi-fis that had a little better fidelity. Flatter curves, more lows, more high frequencies. And all of a sudden, MP3s came. Quality was out the door. Who cares what your ears hear? Convenience rules the day. That's sad. Yeah, everything. So many products don't take the AAC, and it bothers me every time I have one of those. And I've got a couple. But you like AAC? Why?
I like it basically because it's smaller, and not only that, I like it because I feel like, I'm not sure, but I feel like it sounds a little bit better.
A little like the real CD.
Yeah.
But you could always get the real CD. Then you've got AIFF. I mean.
Yeah, but I have to go into a store, a physical store, to buy this one. So I really like the thing. I'm sitting in my car and I'm having my iPhone on me, and I'm going to buy the track while I'm listening in the car. So
you can record in iTunes. You can record AIFF, not as many songs, and then you could have AIFF on your iPhone. I think. Would it come over that way? I'm not sure, but at least I think I'd have to try that.
I have to try that too, basically.
But there's a point that's not worth it. AAC is so good.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
But
okay.
I used to, with MP3s, I would sometimes say, wait a minute, I know this song. There's an instrument missing. You know, something is sounding very strange and weird and flat. And whenever some people are around me and they start playing their music, their iPods on my car, I say, oh my God, you recorded an MP3. Can't you hear it? It's just so tinny and that doesn't sound brilliant.
Would you consider yourself an audiophile?
Minor audiophile. Yes, I grew up and I had very good equipment, and that was important to me.
So you don't use...
Now you go past stages of your life. It's like I was into nice, great sports cars at a phase of my life, and now I don't need them.
So you don't use the earphones which came with your iPhone?
Oh no, not at all. As a matter of fact, I buy I got better and better earphones over time. I tested the different types, the rubber in the ear that really block the outside noise. Had a pair that I really liked very much, and then I heard there's some that this one company had three separate driver elements inside, and you could see it clearly in the earphone. And they made the ear impressions. So I went down and got my ear impressions made, and it's called Ultimate Ears. They're wonderful earphones. They cost about $1,000. And then I was on a TV show called Dancing with the Stars. And a guy came up to me. He says, "Hey, I make these things, with the ear impression earphones. We make them, and they've got two sound driver elements in there, and they're just like Ultimate Ears." And he said, "I'll make you one for free." Came into my trailer, squirted the stuff in my ear, and then they mailed me these earphones, and they sound the best of all.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than Ultimate earphones.
Yeah, better than Ultimate earphones. Ears, and I have both, and I carry both with me. And I also like the Ultimate ears, the type that's not impression to your ear. They came out with a model of it that can go in any ear, and that one with multiple elements, and that one sounds good too. But they actually do, it's so important to me, the sound of my music, of hearing the little nuances of like the real place. And I have to think, yeah, it's AAC, so something's missing, but I just can't stand the normal earphones.
We have a lot of musicians in the community. I think they're really going to love this one.
Yeah, musicians would not like just the standard Apple earphones or any cheap types. No. It's a big difference. And you can hear it. I used to train my ears on one time in my life I had electrostatic speakers in my house. And I would sit there every morning for about 20 minutes. I'd play some of my music off of the old vinyl records, and I'd sit down and close my eyes. And if I couldn't tell if there was a real person playing pianos and guitars in front of me versus it being electronic, then I knew that was the really greatest speaker of my life. And I've also got some electrostatic headphones, and they're the best headphones too.
Is music a source of inspiration for your work?
It sure was. I just like everybody who programs these days, whenever I programmed or did hardware design, I had music playing in the background, usually kind of, loud rock and roll music of the day, not heavy metal. Like the guys these days, a lot of them like to put the heavy metal on. It's just a type of white noise maybe, but that's how they work, and it gets your head in the right place, And if your head gets used to a certain environment, it'll do better in that environment. For example, if you are used to learning something in a certain classroom in a college, and they give you your test in that classroom, you do better than if they give you your test somewhere else. This is the kind of experimentation they've done. So to me, it's just wherever I am, I like music playing in the background.
So,
okay,
thank
Steve.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Could you do?
I'm Steve Wozniak. You're on Apfeltalk.